And there's a quote that has always resonated with me. I keep it in the back of my mind almost every day. I believe it was Annie Dillard. And she said, "The way we spend our days is, of course, the way we spend our lives." And I liked how she added the "of course." It's a bit of like sorrowful, doleful emphasis to a sentiment that could be interpreted as inherently sad. But I paraphrase that statement though some days. I like to say that the way we waste our days is, of course, the way we waste our lives. I thought of this after I woke up a few days ago. I woke up to, all at once, I got a bunch of alerts on my phone that my web server was full, the RAID was full, and the phone itself was full. I'm talking about storage space. And, I'm the only one that can do anything about this, so it sends me on this boring, monotonous ritual of finding where all the big files are and what's going on and why did the web server suddenly fill up when there was plenty of room last time I looked at it. In the case of the phone, the mystery revolves around a phone call recording app that I would have bet cash money I deleted, but that doesn't matter. That app had accumulated like 500 or 600 megabytes worth of phone calls, but when I tried to play any of those audio files back, they were all silent. It had not recorded anything, but the real mystery is what it was even recording, because it had documented, there were like hour-long phone calls in here that I know never happened. I don't talk on the phone that much. So where did all these calls come from, and what was this thing actually recording? I have no idea. Maybe it would record incoming spam calls after the caller hung up. I don't know, but it seemed appropriate that if this device is going to fill up and accumulate with something, why not make it 600 megabytes of complete silence, 600 megabytes of nothing? So I deleted all that and some other shit, but it's just monotonous, boring. Wake up, it's time to delete a shit ton of files. So you gotta find them and you gotta decide if you need them or not. On the web server, it turned out that the Yum program, whatever you call it, Yum is this command line thing that lets you keep packages and everything up to date on the web server. It just sort of took on a mind of its own, and it's been downloading caches, making cache copies of everything. And I tried every set of instructions I could find, and it's like once you find the problem, the further monotony becomes Googling it, and in this context, you often find yourself reading these angry back and forths between people who know what they're talking about and people who don't. And the people who don't know what they're talking about get ridiculed and yelled at, and it's really disheartening as hell, and it doesn't add anything to the value of the discussion. And of course, you find a lot of bad information, and you just waste so much time chasing after something that really doesn't even matter that much, except that I can't have a web server filled to capacity. So I just ended up taking some brute force approaches to clear that cache twice a day, and I'm not going to figure out how to fix it for real, because I don't care. I'm in a precarious position with being on this dedicated web server, because I'm the only one that can fix anything. I can't call anybody. The hosting company has no access to the box, and that's by design. They limit their accountability on with regard to any scandalous or illegal content I might be putting out there, which I'm not. That's not why I got this server like that. It doesn't matter. Another find was that I've always preferred flat HTML pages or flat HTML sites over dynamic, although you have to compromise at some point. But I've always known I have like millions and millions of flat pages on my web server. What I didn't realize that my backup process was downloading all of them. So I had millions and millions of files on my RAID that took a very long time to delete, and there's nothing, you can't do anything else on the RAID while these files are being deleted. It's just monotony. I remember an old friend from early internet, I knew him since 1994, he had a saying that bandwidth expands to fit the waste available. And I've always, he's right too, because bandwidth, he was talking in the dial-up days, bandwidth has increased and increased and increased to accommodate for all the spew that people dump onto the internet. But storage does not increase, and it just feels like this digital detritus is accumulating, and it's going to start filling my head, and it's going to reach a point where my brain can't take any more input, and I won't be able to get anything out of it. All right, I'm done ranting.